Hi, I'm Pastor Bill of Meat of the Word Ministries. I want to talk to you about the phrase Jesus said, remember Lot's wife. And really, we're going to talk about the rapture here today and about the difference between a spiritually minded Christian and the carnally minded Christian. Romans chapter 8 is very clear that there is no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. He goes on to explain that the carnal minded man does not have that peace that passes all understanding. And Lot's wife is a perfect example of that, and a perfect example of why there's evidence, clear evidence, that not every Christian is going to go in the end times. Jesus says, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be. Then he went on to say, as in the days of Lot, it'll be the same way. Listen to these words. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return. Remember Lot's wife. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. Whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. I tell you, in that night there shall be two in one bed. One will be taken, another will be left behind. And he goes on to talk about two will be grinding at the mill, one will be taken, and another left behind. Two will be working in the field, one will be taken, and others will be left behind. This is referring to when the eagles will come to snatch up the true believers, the workers of faith, those that are prepared, the bridegroom's group that have their lamps trimmed. Now you say, why is it important for us to understand? Well, first of all, Jesus is the one that initiated it in the context. He's the one that said, remember Lot's wife. Now consider the story here. In the days of Abraham, God spoke to Abraham, a righteous man. He said, Abraham, I'm not going to hide what I'm about to do. I've come down here. I'm talking to you today along with my two angels. We're going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because the wickedness has become so grievous. And so Abraham begins to intercede, and he intercedes and says, if you have 50 or right on down to 10 righteous people in the city, will you spare the city? And God promised, I will spare the city if there's just 10 righteous people in that city. Now, Abraham may very well have been counted. Well, let's see. In that city there is my nephew Lot and his wife. And he's got 2 virgin daughters. And he's got 2 other daughters because he has at least 2 son-in-laws. That would make 8 right there. So if there had been 10, then God would not have destroyed the city. So the only righteous possible souls that were there would have been, Lot's immediate family, including his 4 daughters and his 2 son-in-laws. So if you go back to Genesis and you read the story of how the Sodomites, the anti-lifestyle type people, wanted to commit sodomy, a crime against these 2 apparent men that had come here that were actually angels. Lot was a righteous soul trying to protect them. He lived in that community. He was vexed with the filthy communication of the wicked in seeing and hearing the things that were being done. Now this is the type. Lot was a type, and his family were a type of carnal Christians. We have many carnal Christians here today that are mingling and fellowshipping with the world. They're going to these seeker-friendly churches. They don't want to commit and consecrate their life to God. They want to sit there and they want to have their world and have Jesus with them. Those people are not watching. They're not praying. They are not going to go in a rapture. I'm just going to say it very specifically. They will not go. Just because they're members of the church, they're not going to go. If their garments are soiled, I don't care what it is. You've got to be accounted worthy. The rapture is a reward. And so the angels came to Lot and said, Lot, hurry, let's make haste, let's get out of here because we can't destroy the city until you're out. He said, let's take everything that is yours. And he tells Lot, take your wife, take your daughters and your sons-in-laws and your sons. So Lot went and he spoke to his sons-in-laws and obviously his 2 daughters that were married to these other 2 men, and they mocked him and laughed at him. He said, the Lord is going to destroy the city. Let's get out. And they laughed at him. They weren't there. They weren't righteous either. So Lot began to go, and the angels literally took Lot because he was lingering and holding off. He was slow in action because he was a carnal Christian. He believed, but he did not take serious action. As he lingered, the angels, it says, took him by the hand, took his wife by the hand, took his 2 daughters that were virgins by the hand, and led them out and saying, we cannot destroy these cities until you're out. Jesus refers to that. And he said, and as soon as Lot went out, now Lot was out. Abraham had provided intercession. Lot was a righteous one, a carnal Christian. He was getting out. But he said, the angel said, don't look back. Lot's wife turned back, looked back. She longed for the world. She probably longed for her 2 daughters and sons-in-law. And so as the destruction came, she turned back. She wanted them and wanted that. She was trying to save her own life, her own stuff. She was going back to get her children, apparently, and she was made of stone. The fire and brimstone fell. She didn't make it. Now, I want you to understand something. The promise was to that woman. Lot's wife could have escaped. Even his other 2 daughters and 2 son-in-laws could have escaped. They should have escaped. It was available to them. It was God's will for them. He sent the angels to tell them they can come out, but they didn't come out. The only ones that came out was Lot and his 2 daughters. And in one quick moment, he lost all of his wealth, all of his possessions, including his 2 married daughters and his own wife. All of his livestock was lost. And he went and he ended up dwelling in caves, in a cave, lost everything because he was unprepared. This is the type of what's going to happen to the carnal Christian. This is not my opinion. This is not my viewpoint. This is recognized by Jesus. He puts them on warning. Remember Lot's wife. She had the privilege to leave and escape, but she did not escape. She was not accounted worthy. Keep that in your thoughts when you try to understand the things of God. Don't settle and think that everything is going to be, a rose bed here. There are hard times coming on this world. Watching and praying is going to make you be safe in the ark that God has, a preservation for you, and maybe, hopefully, a pre-tribulation rapture. Let's be worthy to escape. Let's obey God. God bless you.